the older I have gotten, the more I've realized that, and especially for single people with no kids, mainly because that's who I am, is no, and not many people talk about this kind of stuff, but, and I don't know why, but most advice given to people is, you know, go find a career that you're passionate about, put all your time and effort into, getting wealthy, creating an awesome life, whatever the hell that means, and essentially just being like pursuing success. But what people don't really advise is doing whatever the hell you want. And this isn't applicable to everybody, because not everybody wants freedom, and not everybody wants, well, actually everybody like pretty much says they want freedom, but most people given like true freedom where they can kind of do what they want, they feel like they have no purpose, they get bored too easily, they're not disciplined enough to have their own schedule, and there's no structure to your life, which, I'm not gonna lie, has been hard for me as well. And I still work a full-time job technically. Like, I have 2 part-time jobs, but I work full-time hours. Other than that, I live like a minimalist, so I don't have a lot of material possessions, and I constantly get rid of stuff. Like, every once in a while I'll go buy something or pick up something on the side of the road, like a couch or something, and then I put it in my apartment and I'm like, I don't really want it. So I just throw it away. But yeah, not many people these days talk about like freedom, like being able to do what you want. Everybody is so career driven and success driven that that's the only like direction people advise. And I'm here to tell you, because I'm not really motivated by that. I don't really get too excited about like excelling in a career. Like, I don't know why. Maybe it's just the season of my life that I'm in, but I am driven by like freedom and flexibility and being able to do what I want. If I want to sleep in, I can. If I want to not work for a couple weeks, I can. And the only way to really do that is just to minimize your expenses, like essentially not have a lot of bills, so you don't need a super high paying job that will take up all your time to pay for your bills. So technically I could just live off of delivering pizzas or working at a fast food restaurant or any like low paying job, because I've created and maintained a low cost lifestyle. So that enables me to have the freedom, like, and the flexibility to, if I don't like a job, I can leave. And if I don't like what I'm doing, I can just change whatever I'm doing at any time. And I think that for me, it's important. Some people are career oriented and they want to rise through the ranks and become an executive, or just have a very meaningful career that they like showing up to every day. I'm not here to tell you that's wrong. I'm just here to give another option to some people that don't really think like most people when it comes to career and making money. I live a lot different than anybody I really know. Like, I don't really care about buying fancy cars or a big house. Like, right now I live in a 1-bedroom apartment, and I drive how old is this car? 17-year-old car, and I have no intention of getting a new car or upsizing my living arrangement. Actually, the only thing I can imagine is buying one of those tiny houses and just keeping this car and fixing it up every once in a while. And that's all I can imagine. And like, thinking that way allows me to not be stressed out by a job that I don't like. I do see people everywhere that work too many hours and are in a career field that they don't really like, but they have created a the costly lifestyle that they have to maintain their current position to afford their lifestyle. So I don't think there's anything wrong with not being career oriented. So if you're one of those people, this video is for you. And it's truly to say that you can really do anything you want. If you just want to work part-time at McDonald's and live on people's couches and just go rent out a room in somebody's house and just drive a moped every day and a scooter and live very cheaply and just go hiking and camping and running and go to the bar every weekend, if that's what you want to do and just have a minimal lifestyle, I think you should do it. If you want to be career oriented and put in the 12 hours, 14 hours a day and work as much as you can and progress, do that for sure. Absolutely do that. If internally you feel good about it, not just externally, because a lot of us put up this front and pretend like we're happy in front of people because we just want to fit in. We don't want to go against the grain, but internally a lot of people are suffering and are not living in congruency with who they are as a person. They are doing what other people suggest they should do, and that's not always the best thing to do. Sometimes you have to just kind of go a different path, diverge a little bit from what people are telling you and just experiment. Maybe you do want to work a ton of hours. Maybe you don't like sitting around and being lazy or exploring, or walking, hiking, any of that stuff. Maybe you like staying inside all day. Maybe you just want to play video games. I'm here to tell you that if you don't have children and you're not married or you don't have a bunch of responsibilities, you can do what you want, and you don't have to acquire all these responsibilities either. You don't have to get married or have children at all. You don't have to do that if you don't want. If it's not right for you, you don't have to do what everybody else does. And I live my life like that, honestly. I truly don't. I love people and I respect what people are doing, but I see too many unhappy people, and I see that suicide rates are very high, and I actually think they did come down a little bit in the last year or two, but I may be wrong about that, so don't quote me. But depression and anxiety diagnoses are very high, and mental problems are very high, and I think there's underlying things that cause that. I know it's your past and how you were raised and maybe a negative environment, but I also think it's maybe people just aren't doing what they should or want to really do. I was very unhappy. When I was 19 years old, I got a job that I made almost $20 an hour, and for the time being 18, 19 years old, it was really good money, relatively speaking, compared to people my age. And so all signs pointed to me supposed to be, I was supposed to be happy, right? Because I was making pretty good money and I was living at home, so I didn't have a lot of bills. But I was just so miserable every day. I hated showing up. And I make less than that now per hour. But my life is a lot more enjoyable. I don't wake up every day and dread the day, or I'm not depressed or anxious. And not saying that I'm not trying to discredit those mental problems, but it just goes to show that you don't have to make a certain amount of money to be happy. It's relatively speaking, to you as a person, your circumstances, and sort of what you qualify as a good life, because it really doesn't matter what people think. Even if for me, for me, I've had plenty of opportunities to pursue different careers, and I do feel like I'm somewhat intelligent enough to excel in any career I've ever I could ever do, just based off of the reviews of all my employers and how much they didn't want to lose me, and how much they liked me, and I did really well at most jobs, and they all liked me and appreciated me. So I always had confidence that I can excel in any career that I pursue, but I'm just not motivated by that. it just, for some reason, I don't know why. At one point in my life, I did want to, all I could think about was getting rich and becoming super successful and having businesses and, being like a proven commodity, if per se, I don't know what that means, but like being somebody popular in the city. Like I've always kind of thought that way, but like recently I just kind of abandoned that mindset and have reframed the way I want to live. And I'm not saying this is permanent, but for now, I can't imagine a world where I get married, and I definitely cannot imagine a world where I have children. Even though I love children, I have my 2 nephews that I see, every week, and that's amazing. So maybe that helps. That helps the urge to have children because I get to see them all the time. But I want true freedom. Like I like to sometimes sleep in, sometimes just chill, like go for a walk all day, go swimming, hiking, just hanging out by myself, watching TV. Like, I am lazy. I would say I'm definitely lazy. And I think a lot of us are, but we're forced by our programming and other people around us that judge us for being lazy or not being career driven. We're automatically put into a category of loser or lazy or whatever negative adjectives they want to use to describe people like me. And I know quite a few people that are lazy, and I don't think that's derogatory. I think that is just a description. It's not good or bad. It's just who these people are. I know people that they can't sit down. It's not that they can't sit down and chill for a while without their phone and just relax out by like on a hammock or in a swimming pool. Like they can't. Like their programming doesn't allow them. And they just go. Like I know people like that, and that's not good or bad. That's just who they are. So I guess that's the whole message, and that's what I love to talk about with everybody. It's just knowing like who you are, because some people are driven by certain things, and just because you're not driven by the same thing as the other people in your circle doesn't mean you're good or bad or you're dumb or smart. It just means that's who you are. So this has gone on for like a lot longer than I thought it would, but if this applies to you, hopefully this gives you permission to live however you want. Whether you want to be a truck driver and just live in your truck, or if you want to couch surf for the rest of your life and just work part-time, or if you want to work 80 hours a week and constantly pursue more and more money and more time and more fulfillment through work. I guess the message is just to do it because you want to do it. Don't do it because you feel like you should or you have to.